Hi there, it's Roy from Sulphur City Sabers. What we have on the bench at the moment is our Regal Emissary saber design, and what a design this one is. Absolutely stunning. So this is just an overview video of the saber itself. It's not an operation care or maintenance video. For that, just make sure you check out the other links in the product details. So let's delve in. So first off, well, it's a very good looking design, this one. We call it the Regal Emissary, mainly because it has some very, what we would consider upmarket looks. Purple has always been the colour of sort of the royalty, the royal courts. You have the beautiful metallic accents as well that sets everything off, and of course the black textured milled grip. There has been a lot of work put into the design and manufacture of this saber. It's a solid two-hander, this one. There's a good length on this saber, so if you're using this for dueling, you can quite comfortably have a two-handed wield on this saber, and if you're not using it for dueling, it's a beautiful saber regardless. We discussed the pros and cons of uses either way in these videos. Okay, so let's delve in. So I'm going to break down the saber. I won't break it all the way down. There's a couple of extra little bits on there that I'm not going to remove. Okay, so it breaks down into, I want to say, three parts, which is the pommel, the emitter, and the main body itself. You will notice that it does have this very deep purple shroud. That would actually just be slid onto the black grip anyway, but I'm not going to remove that one. I suggest to keep that on. If you remove this purple shroud, you're only going to run the risk of just lightly scratching up your nicely machined grip anyway. So it breaks down into those three core little parts. So being a long body, you won't get to see the chassis and board. Once you break the saber down, you will actually have to remove the entire chassis in order to do that. Some of our other models have quite a short switch section, and the body just unscrews, which gives you access to the board, but not on this one. This model does not come with a CoverTech pre-drilled slot, so you're not going to be able to add an optional CoverTech wheel in order to hang this from the CoverTech clip on your belt. I'd be scared of dropping it and denting it. It's I definitely want to keep a grip on this one actually. It's a really nice saber. So what we didn't see there because of the long body was the Xeno 3 RGB baselet board that is tucked away on the inside of here. So the board comes pre-configured with a plethora of sound fonts and configs that will keep you happy scrolling through those and playing around with the settings. What you can't see is the additional empty SD card slot, which will allow you to optionally pop in your own SD card with some additional sound fonts, and I understand some config changes if you so wish, just on a little config file, but primarily it's used for adding sound fonts on there. And it's a very well featured board as well. In terms of configuration, you can do a lot through the menu anyway. So let's talk about the switch and recharge port. So here we have a really nice motif on the activation button with a recessed USB charge. So we're quite picky about our saber designs that we have here at Sulphur City Sabers. So some of our designs have internal recharge ports, some have external. We think the USB-Cs are subtle enough that they're actually not too out of place on the Sabers. So gone are the days though where your Sabers basically had two very ugly Allen head bolts keeping the switch and recharge port assembly in place. This is a much nicer, cleaner look that we're actually quite enjoying. So retention screws, we have these two here, which are just basically keeping your shroud on, so you don't want to take those out. On the back we have this screw here, which is keeping the chassis in place. If you ever want to remove your chassis, you have to remove this one along with this grub screw here, and this one pushes the switch assembly and recharge port into its milled recesses on the body itself. Then as we progress further up, we have the 1, 2, 3 retention screws on the emitter. So if you're using a heavy grade blade, to be honest, you only really need one retention screw to keep that in place, which is the one on here. And we ship all of our Sabers with heavy grade blades as standard. If you wanted to wield a mid-grade blade, they're a little bit lighter. They have thinner polycarbonate walls on the tubes. They're a little bit more squirmy under the grub screws, so especially if you're using one retention screw. So the 3 retention screws really come into play to keep mid-grade blades comfortably in place. Really nice deep emitter on this one, so your blade's going to be nice and stable. So there we have it. Beautiful design. You've got these shine throughs as well, just under the emitter section. Exceptionally well designed, cosmetically designed saber, this one. And I think this is going to be one of our favourites. So anyway, if you have any further questions, feel free to pop them through. Oh, let's talk about core compatibility. Of course, most of our saber designs in the particular series. So this one will be the S series, of course. They have compatible cores. So if you ever want to swap out your core for or upgrade it from an RGB baselit to a NeoPixel, that's something you can do at a later stage. You just simply remove the grub screws, push the buttons in, slide the core out, slide your new core in, refit, and away you go. Please make sure you fully understand the process before you try and DIY that. We don't want you accidentally damaging your saber. But again, that option is there. And of course, it's something we can do in-house here for you as well, if you don't want to explore that option yourself. So yeah, there we go. Great course. So it comes in the, if I've not said so already, the RGB baselit, the Xeno 3 Pixel, and the Profi cores as well. Profi boards, of course, being an exceptional open source board that's been in the Saber community for a few years now. Highly customizable and a really cool option. If you were going for one of our more showy sabers, or like this, can't see too many people using this one, but you won't. They'll be too scared to put dings and dents. But otherwise, it would be a great two-hander. Right, I'm going to sign off now. Hope you've enjoyed this overview video. Like I said, any questions, be more than happy to answer them. Thanks for your time.